All right, this is the Geometry Unit 7 Lesson 4 video. And in this lesson, we're going to be focused on learning the formulas to calculate arc length and sector area. So we're going to get some terms out of the way here. So we're going to be looking at three main kind of concepts. Oops. Sorry about this, had to reload. First thing we're going to look at is what these terms mean. So when we talk about a sector of a circle, we are talking about basically a part of a circle that's kind of bound inside of two radii. So this shaded region here is a sector. So the center of the circle is here. We've got two radii coming out, and that is a sector. We're also going to be talking about what's called a segment of a circle. So this is the sector of a circle. A segment of a circle is the section that is inside that sector, but only the part that is beyond the chord, so the blue area here. Okay, so the sector is the area that is completely within that angle, and this segment area is just the part that is kind of beyond the chord that runs through that sector. And then lastly, we're going to be talking about arc length, which is the measure of the actual distance around the edge. Let me just do it a little bit better. It's the distance around the edge here. So that is what we call the arc length. So those are the kind of terms that you need to know. And I'm just going to jump right into doing some calculations of these values. So to find the area of a sector of a circle, you have the following formula. The area of a sector is equal to pi r squared, which we already learned was the formula for the area of a circle, times m over 360. So the m right here is the measure of the angle. It's the measure of the angle inside the sector. So for instance, if I have this circle down here, and I have a sector here that is this sector, and I want to know the area of this sector in here. Just color that in. I want to know the area of this sector. In order to know that, I need to know the measure of this angle. So let's say this angle is 120 degrees. And the radius of the circle is 6. So if this is the sector that I'm looking at, I have all the values I need. This is my m value, the 120 degrees. Write that again. And the r is my radius. So if I use the formula as it's given, the area of this sector is equal to pi times 6 squared times m, which is 120 degrees, over 360. And then I just need to work this out. So we know that 6 squared is 36, and we need to multiply that times 120 over 360. Now the pi, we're not going to do anything with. I'll show you what's going to happen here at the end. But let's go ahead and multiply 36 times 120 divided by 360. So we had 6 squared. 6 squared is 36. So then we do 36 times 120 divided by 360. Oops. And we get 12. So the entire number portion of this whole thing reduces to 12. And so we have 12 times pi, which we actually want to write this way, 12 pi. And so the area of this sector is 12 pi. Let's write that over here as a final answer. So that's more or less what you're going to do. And there are a few questions in the lesson where it just asks you the area of the sector of a circle. And that's pretty much it for sector area. But let's look at an example of arc length. Similarly, you're going to have a circle. You're going to have some part of that circle. Let's say we have it like this. And we're looking at this sector in here. And let's say we're told that this is 90 degrees and that r is equal to 8. All right, so if we're going to find the arc length, we have a formula for that. So the formula for the arc length is equal to 2 pi r times m over 360. Very similar formula, but we have here the circumference formula instead of the area formula that we had up here. So again, here we're looking for the arc length. The arc length refers to the distance from here to here. We're looking for the distance around this edge. We'll call this centimeters. We have that, so we're going to go in and we're going to do 2 pi times 8 times 90 over 360. If we work this out, the 2 and the 8 will multiply to make 16. We'll leave the pi alone for now. And then 90 over 360. We're going to multiply 16 times 90 over 360. Oops. 16 times 90 divided by 360. And we get 4. All right. So we get 4, which means that we have 4 pi centimeters. And that is the measure of the arc length of this circle. So you have your formulas there. You have your formula for sector area. You have your formula for arc length. Now, let's say that we are given another circle. And we're given an angle. So we're given this like this. And we're told, find the area of the segment. So we'll be talking about just this part. So this is going to be a little bit more of an involved calculation because the segment is part of the, or again, we're finding the area of the segment. It's part of the sector, but it doesn't include this triangle here on the inside. So in order to find this area of this segment, we're going to have to do two things. First thing we're going to have to do is find the area of the sector. Then we're going to subtract the area of the triangle, and that will give us the segment area. So what you're going to be given when you're given this is you're going to be given the distance here. Let's call this a radius of 12 centimeters. And then you're also going to be given a distance for the height of this triangle. Let's say the height is 10 centimeters. You're also going to be given the measure of this angle on the inside. So we'll say that this angle is equal to 60 degrees. So we have everything that we need because we have our M and then we have the dimensions of our triangle. So first thing we'll do is we'll find the area of the segment. So the area of the segment is pi r squared times M over 360. A little crowded. Let me move this over. There we go. And so we're going to go ahead and plug everything in to that formula. And we get pi times 12 squared times 60 over 360. So we get 12 squared is 144 times 60 over 360 times pi. So we'll go ahead and multiply that. 60 over 360 times 144. Let's go. 144 times 60 divided by 360. And we get 24. So we get 24 pi. Okay? Or if we estimate that, 24 there it was, pi, oops, let's go back here, 24 pi is 75.40, 79.40. I think I said these were centimeters. Yep, centimeters squared. So I'm going to write that down here. 79.4 centimeters square. That's the area of the segment. So we're going to be subtracting from that the area of the triangle. So we go in, we find the area of our triangle. The area of our triangle is the formula for all triangle area is always base times height divided by 2. We have a base and height of 10 and 12. 12 is the base and the height. 12 times 10 divided by 2. 12 times 10 is 120. Divided by 2 is 60 centimeters squared. That's the area of the triangle. So I come up here and I do 60 centimeters squared. 79.4 minus 60 is 19.4 centimeters squared, and that is the segment area. And that's how you find the area of this section underneath the chord in a sector of a circle. So you have a couple of those in the lesson. You have a couple of arc length and you have a couple of sector area. So you have an example of each here. Hopefully that will get you what you need. I will post these notes so you can see those examples. And that is the end of our video for Geometry Unit 7 Lesson 4.